Hello, my name is Mark Johnson with iCEV, and I want to welcome you today to the iCEV workshop, Endless Options, Customizing Your iCEV Account. The goal for this workshop today really is to go through and show you all the different customization features that are built into the iCEV platform. You will have the ability to customize your courses. You'll have the ability to customize each of the items within the course, including the activities, the projects, all of the interactive items as well. The first thing that I'll do is show you that I've preloaded two different courses. I have got my first period social media marketing course, and I've also added a first period social media marketing 2 course that I'll get into in a minute to discuss the modifications we have made to that second course. Let me begin by opening up my first period social media marketing course. You will see we have got several lessons that are designed to cover all of the different topics within the social media marketing course. The first customization item I will show you is loaded over here to the right-hand side under the settings section in iCEV. This is where all of your settings are designed for you to be able to control what the students see, what they do not see, and when they see those. The first item I will touch on will be the lesson visibility settings. When I select this tab, this is going to open up the courses and show you all of the different lessons and the options to make each lesson either visible, hidden, or visible on a specific date for each lesson. The goal here is when students log into your class, a lot of times when they see all of these different lessons, it can be overwhelming. So we're trying to give you a tool that allows you to only share the lessons with them that you want them to see when they log in. So everything within iCEV is defaulted to be turned on. All of the lessons and all of the items within each lesson. With that being said, the easiest way to make one lesson visible would be to come back to my lesson visibilities section and select hide all. When I hide all of these lessons, it then allows me to come in and select the lesson that I do want visible to my students. And then let's say I want to make this guide to social media marketing tool lesson visible, and I want to make it visible next Wednesday, the 29th. Now when my students log into my course, they're going to see this one specific ethics and business lesson, and then next Wednesday, the 29th, they're going to see the marketing tool lesson. It really gives you the flexibility to make each one of these lessons visible on your schedule, specifically if you have substitutes. Now let's go into an actual lesson. So I'm going to open Ethics for Business. When I open up the Ethics for Business lesson, you will notice I have a video that loads right here in the middle of my screen. I can select this box here and turn it on, and that will make that video visible to my students. If I'm not ready for them to see the video or the PowerPoint, I can uncheck that box and it will hide that from them when they log in. We have also got printable and interactive items, as you know. And as I scroll down here, I can see all of the different activities and projects, vocabulary, worksheet, and assessments. And if I want to hide any of these activities or projects, I can do it by individually checking these boxes or unchecking these boxes. Again, everything is defaulted to be turned on, and I can change those settings on my course page if I would like. As I get into the interactive section, you will see my vocabulary, my worksheet, and all of my assessments. This is an area where I have a lot of flexibility for customization. The first thing I will show you is visible to students. Currently, everything is visible, but if I wanted to hide any of these, I can do that by selecting this box. Show details. This is the answers. So currently they have unlimited attempts at each one of these items. I could set that attempts threshold to maybe 2, and with them being able to retake any of these items, I would like to turn those answers off so they do not see the answers once they've taken it the first time, giving them the opportunity to retake. I can also set this to be deactivated at the end of the day. So I may assign this this morning, but this evening at midnight, that is going to be deactivated where they will no longer be able to work through that, allowing me to set some parameters for each student or for each class. I can also select which of these items show up on my grade report. So as you can see, there's a lot of customization features within each individual lesson as well. This also gives us an opportunity to make some modifications or accommodations for students, and I'll show you that in a minute. So as I go back to my first period, social media marketing, I'm going to scroll down and show you under the settings tab how I can default all of those interactive and printable items within each lesson by selecting hide all from any of these categories. Once I hide all of those, when I go back into the lesson, it then allows me to check all of the items that I would like to make visible. It just makes it a little bit easier to control so many different activities, projects, and assessments. One of the other really neat features from a customization standpoint would be creating a custom assessment. So as you saw on the previous lesson, there was a worksheet, there was a vocabulary, and there were several assessment questions. When I select Create a Custom Assessment, this allows me to come in and title this, and it's maybe a 30-day assessment. It also allows me to select either one lesson or multiple lessons that I can pull questions from. So that gives me the opportunity to create an exam over these 3 lessons that we completed as a class. When I select Next, it then allows me to come in and find the items that are available for me to add within my test. They will be labeled as vocab, worksheets, or assessments. And by selecting this preview tab, I can see exactly what that question would look like. And if I want to select that, I just check the box here and it's going to add that item. So I can come through and add several items to that exam. Here are some assessment questions that I could add. This also allows me to add those 10 items successfully. Once I've added those items, I can come back to this page and it also allows me to create my own questions. So if I select Create Item from here, it then allows me to come in and add new questions, and I am able to select the format of those questions and really develop those on my own. This test assessment really generator allows me to pool questions from multiple lessons and also create my own. It is a feature that was really suggested by teachers in the classroom. We certainly appreciate those suggestions. And teachers all over the country really enjoy being able to create their own assessments. I've added these 10 items. I'm going to select Save. And it's going to ask me to return to my course page. Now when I scroll to the bottom of my first period social media marketing course, you will see I have got my course assessment that's been customized. It's titled 30-Day Assessment. I can edit this, I can copy this, I can remove it, and I can also have some options on hiding the answers, making it visible, deactivating it on a specific date, and showing it on my grade report. A lot of neat features here on the course assessment piece. From here, I'm going to go back to my Courses page, and talk a little bit about the first period Social Media Marketing 2 course that I added. The reason I've added this is my first period class may have a couple of students that need modifications or accommodations. By adding a second first period course, I can share this with those specific students that need the modifications. I can come into a course, open up a lesson. So let's look at ethics in business. And this allows me to come to the interactive, and I may want to leave the answers visible. I might want to change the threshold to 5 attempts. I may not want to deactivate that on a specific date. I may want to give them the weekend to work through that. And now any of the modifications I have made to this section, those are going to show up in my first period Social Media Marketing 2 class that I have shared with all of my students for those modifications. Again, everything is defaulted to be turned on. And in this particular course, you would definitely want to come in and hide specific lessons and not overwhelm students with all of these lesson titles when they log into the course. Again, to do that, I just make this visible. Now when those students log into my course, all they will see is the employability skills lesson that I've made modifications to, which will be different from my other first period social media marketing class. But again, the goal here is to keep those separate from the rest of the students within my class. One thing to note is we've covered a lot of different information. There's a lot of ways to customize not only the courses, the course playlists, but we've got this section called tutorials that's listed on every page. When I open up that tutorials page, you are going to see a tutorial that goes over every feature of iCEV, including creating a custom course, customizing your own course, and then all of the assessment generator items. You've got lesson and activity visibility settings. So please take some time to go in and look at these tutorials, again, that are listed at the top of every page. I'm going to come in and show you how to customize a course that we've loaded, which is the first period social media marketing course. Once I've opened this specific course, I can go to this button called Customize this course. This is going to give me a page that has very specific instructions on how to do this, but I am going to come down here and I'm going to browse the library with iCEV by subject area. Now that course falls in my business marketing, IT, and finance section, so that is what you will see as a teacher, is the business marketing, finance, and IT section. From here you can see we have categories as well as subcategories that have lessons that we're able to look at, preview, and then load into our course. So if I scroll down to marketing, you can see social media is listed here, but I'm going to look at some other areas like marketing with a subcategory of promotion. And when I open that, that is going to pull out a list of lessons that are available for me to load in that course. If it says preview, that tells me it's already loaded over here to the right. So what I'm going to do is preview one of these lessons. Once I've previewed and decided I like it, I'm going to add that to my current first period social media marketing course. So I'm going to add a few of these. You'll notice when I do that, it loads them at the bottom of the course. From here, I can also customize by moving these and placing them wherever I would like them as far as the sequence of my course. From here, I want to clear those results, and I would like to browse again and look at another section. And let's say media relations is an area I would like to see some additional lessons. You'll notice there are 3 lessons. I can select add, and that will move those lessons in to my course as well. Once I select finished, that will take me back to my courses page or my dashboard. And when I open up my first period social media marketing course, you will notice I have customized that playlist and added several lessons from the iCEV library right into that course, giving me some flexibility to customize that specific course. Lastly, if you wanted to build your own course or your own playlist, you can do that as well. So let's go to Add New Course. And instead of selecting one of our courses we've pre-built, come up here and select Create a Custom Course. That allows me access to the entire library within my content area. I'm going to title this Career Ready because I want to develop a playlist on just some career ready lessons. And this time, instead of browsing by subject, I'm going to put in a keyword and let's say resume. When I select go, this is going to pull all of the lessons that we have that are kind of, around the resumes, cover letters, things of that nature. So I'm going to grab these lessons and select add and move those over into my course playlist. So I'm going to add several of these. Internships. You'll notice I've got cover letters and resumes. And then as I look here, I've got another lesson on cover letters, and I'm going to move that up here to the top. I've got some interview lessons, and I'm going to organize these properly just so you can see exactly how you can customize each playlist in each course. So from here, I have created a list of my favorite lessons. I'm going to select Finished, and that is now going to load those onto my Courses page or to my dashboard. Once I have them on my Courses page or my dashboard, it's going to give me the opportunity to share that playlist with my students. Lastly, I want to show you how to customize your own playlist or course that you can add to your My Courses page and share with your students. To do this, you will go to the Add New Course tab and select that. Instead of grabbing one of our courses that we've pre-built for you, come to the top and select Create a Custom Course. Once you select that, you're able to title that playlist, and I'm going to title that Career Ready. And instead of selecting Browse by Subject, I'm just going to utilize a keyword like resume. And this is going to allow me to search the entire iCEV library and pull up all of the lessons that have anything to do with applications, cover letters, resumes, things of that nature. You'll also notice there's the interview process, which is really aligned to Career Ready. So I'm going to add these, and you'll notice to the right, I do not have any lessons loaded into this playlist. So I could essentially grab what might be my favorite lessons for this particular topic, and I'm just going to add those over here to my playlist. Here's internships. And from here, I'm going to resort these particular lessons in a way that might work best for my students. So I'm going to add job search up here to the top. Here's an additional lesson on resumes. Here's one on cover letters. I've got some interviewing lessons here, but I want to put them in the proper sequence. And once I do this, I've got all of these lessons on my playlist titled Career Ready, and I can select Finished, and that will load that playlist to my Courses page or my dashboard. Once I've done that, I can open up this particular playlist and notice I have all of these lessons in one place, which then allows me to share that particular playlist with my students, which gives me a great opportunity for them to not only do some extra work, but if I have a substitute coming in on Wednesday, I might instruct my students to work through some of the Career Ready lessons. Again, that's just another way that you can customize any of your courses or playlists within the iCEV platform. I hope that you've enjoyed this workshop today. Most importantly, we really appreciate the opportunity to work with you as teachers. We appreciate the opportunity to show you all of the different features from a customization standpoint within iCEV. And again, thanks for joining us and have a super day.